Welcome. Another lesson. Abundance blockage. Let's go. So as we said earlier, everything is interconnected with our inner child. So the first 7 years where we build our subconscious mind, 95% of our life is lived in the subconscious mind. So we need to dig, be the inspector, find clues, and then once we find the clues, those energies, those programs are resurfacing into the conscious, and then we can transmute them. Then we can be the alchemist, transforming a dark energy into a light energy. So this is coming from Marie Sheldon. You can do the free masterclass on Mind Valley. And then in the masterclass, there's a little meditation where she goes through the seven first blocks. The 24 blocks are first one, resistance. And that's the main one I see all the time. Resistance is a form of avoidance of facing our shadow self, facing our trauma, facing pain, facing catalyst. I see a lot of resistance people when they are about to open the heart. It's like subconsciously they know that once they're going to open that door, so much pain is going to come out, so much uh, emotion is going to come out. So it's like the moment they start opening the door, like, no, 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 I don't want to. And then we live in resistance like that. Like one way we do something, it's how we do everything. So if we have resistance of opening the heart, then we're going to have resistance on being vulnerable with people, having resistance on launching a project. It's going to be shown in multiple ways in different level of your life. The second, doubt and fears. That's more like linked to the future. I'm worried all the time of like, oh, what can happen? And I'm expecting negative result all the time. I'm projecting in the future fears. Fear of change. If I change, then subconsciously I know I'm gonna be alone. I'm gonna be lonely. I'm gonna have to restart again. And people they just want to stay comfortable, stay in the known, stay with their friends that they have now, even though that they know that their friends are not helping them or motivating them to reach your next level. So fear of change is really like the fear of doing a new cycle of the hero journey, going to the abyss, the catalyst, overcoming that, and then knowing that we're gonna go up into a rebirth, into a new life, or in this new life we're gonna start from zero. So it can be from a new environment, a new cycle of friend, a new project, a new career, whatever it is. But it is needed. We need to be in acceptance with the cycle of life. Therefore, we need to be in acceptance of the ever changing evolution of the universe. Nothing lasts in the universe, no matter what. Like how hard you're gonna work in your life, you're never gonna be able to avoid this truth. Nothing lasts. No relationship lasts. It's the principle of the universe. Everything is ever changing. Money zapping decision. It's a form of self-sabotage to confirm your sense of unworthiness. So overloading your credit card, or like the moment that you have money, you spend it all. Spending more money that you make. Um, those type of things, or not even like trying to make money. Like you don't have money, and then you're kind of like frozen, and you don't do anything about it. It's all confirmation of your inner world. It's like it's a endless loop. It's like you live in scarcity, and then somehow you don't have a lot of money. The moment you make a bit of money, then you're gonna spend it right away to go back into scarcity to confirm your inner energy, your inner world. So the only way to get out of this loop is really to first uh, change the consciousness of our inner energy, mainly the root chakra, and then after that, the solar plexus to believe in ourselves. Fear of growth. So it's really like, what's gonna happen if I grow, right? Again, it's linked to the fear of change. But what happen if I I become this person, or I change? Am I gonna be still um, connecting with my spouse, right? So sometimes it's a big fear. It's like uh, we are in love with someone, and then we're afraid that if we grow, then this is gonna take us apart, and therefore, like we try to stay at their level. Fear of success. What's gonna happen if I'm successful? People are gonna ask me for money. They're gonna ask me for favors. I'm gonna be a target on social media and so on. Fear of rejection. It's like the I I care too much about what the other people think, but what people think is just a projection of their own inner world on me. Each person in our life are having their own perception of us, and we have our own perception. Therefore, there's infinite version of us, because it's not the full truth what my mom thinks about me. It's not the full truth what my dad thinks about me. It's just their own reality. And then therefore they project their own reality on me. And then clients, followers on social media, business partners, employees, and so on is the same. So when we start the process of growth, it's gonna be obvious, and it's gonna be certain that's gonna be there's gonna be rejection, because we're meeting so much people, we're embodying ourselves, and people, they're like, "Who are you to be this person?" Right? They want to take you down to not feel alone, right? They don't want you to go. They want you to be as lonely as they are, or as fearful as they are, whatever they are. Fear of number is like, I know my financial situation is a mess, and even though it's a mess, it's like each time I go check my bank account, it's a reminder. So I don't want to see my bank account, right? I don't know how much I'm making monthly. I don't know how much I'm spending monthly. I don't know what was my profit this month. Those type of things. So as we saw earlier, it's important to be your own CEO, and see yourself as a business. Therefore, if you're a business, you need to do like monthly profit and loss. You need to do annual report signed by an accountant, right? In decisions, there's like two, three roadmaps and of like projects that you need to do, and then you're frozen, and you're like, and then you start one, and then you're not fully all in with it, and then you're like, there's some doubts of like, oh, I knew I should have done this, I should have done this, the other one. But it's the whole principle of life, of like understanding that there's no right decision, there's no right choice. It's all the same choice that lead to the same finish line, which is going back home in the heart center, going back home into the central sun, eventually back home, full oneness with God. So the different chores are needed, and then when we take a choice, we go all in with it. We believe that, okay, I'm gonna put it all, I'm gonna put my all into it, and then until I feel that there's some resistance, maybe like I'm gonna start thinking, okay, like maybe it's the end of that cycle of that choice, and then I can transition to another choice. But one thing at a time, for sure. We're going to be talking more about this. Feeling stuck. So feeling stuck is feeling stagnant. There's nothing stagnant in life. It's either a spiral upward or a spiral downward. It's a roller coaster. So we either grow or we either descend. And towards the cycle of the hero journey, yes, when we descend, we might start feeling, okay, like I don't know how to get out of there. Therefore, it's not stagnant, it's not stuck. It's like you're descending, and I don't know how to get out. The only way to get out is to really like to assess ourselves and build a toolbox. I personally use muscle testing. We can use the pendulum. We can hire a channeler, a business coach, a spiritual coach. I have a resources to assess myself, to unlock and go back into momentum. because when we restart the momentum, then I restart having synchronicity with life and things are flowing. Be clear on our values. So I don't, if I don't know my needs, my feeling, I don't know really like what type of life I want to live, then I don't know how to express my needs and feelings, right? So it's very important to assess and decide what type of value that I want to live in my life. Be clear on the future. Again, it's about clarity of like deciding you are the creator of your own experience. God doesn't mind what you're experiencing. You have your own free will. Yes, we took decision as soul to come here, but still we can create our anything. We can create something totally different than what our soul decided. And then it's part of the process of deciding, taking choices, going all in, overcoming resistance and decision, all those things. So take a decision on what do you want to experience, where do you want to live, where do you want to travel, what type of person you want to meet. Have some visions, and we're gonna be doing this with visions board, and I'm gonna be teaching more about this later on in the course. Clutter. So when everything is a mess outside, therefore it's just a manifestation of our inner mess. If our room is a mess, our house is a mess. If our laptop is a mess, our email is a mess, right? There's no space. There's no space there. It's like the cable of the internet. There it can be high speed, high potential, but then there's like 1,000 people using the same router. Therefore, it's like there's so much traffic, right? There's no space for you to enjoy the full speed of that internet. So your life is like that. There's too much clutter in your mind that you're not having that mental space to be clear and take the right decision. So we're going to be working on that later on the course too. Family block, it's all about the trap emotions and our resistance of being vulnerable with our family. Blame, we're blaming everything outside. We're not taking full responsibility of our own creation, as we saw earlier, becoming the own CEO of our reality. Discover the ultimate you. We're going to see this later on too, is discovering the tip of your personality, which is the seed, but then eventually we need to become all personalities. Generate your future self. So it's we're going to be also doing this, visualizing our future self, and then attracting our future self, becoming one with our future self. In the realm of all possibilities, there's this highest timeline that is there. It is already living. There's a version of you living that highest timeline because there's no such things as a past or future. It's all happening at one, and then it creating this bubble here where we're experiencing time. But outside of this bubble here, when we're looking from above, there's no time, right? Our higher self is looking at us with all the timelines of past and future and all the timelines of decisions. Therefore, there's this version of you that is your most confident, your most attractive, your most loving, etc. And how do we attract this in our life? We're going to be working on that. Turning blocks into profit. Somehow, my biggest weakness is my biggest strength. For me, as an example, it's my throat, and I'm always focusing on that area. And I know in the future, it's gonna be like helping millions of people. It's part of my main mission. Self-sabotage, somehow I don't feel enough inside. I'm not really feeling worthy in my root. I don't really feel a self-esteem in my solar plexus, and each time there's something good happening, I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna subconsciously create something to uh, to create a catalyst to not really live that experience. I don't feel worthy of it. Lack of self-worth. um, so I don't feel worthy of living those abundant experiences. I don't feel worthy of having love, a beautiful romantic relationship. I don't feel worthy of having X amount of money. Financial mess. It's a chaos. There's a clutter, right? I don't know where to start to to clean up my financial situation. Financial illusion. I think I can become a millionaire tomorrow. Like we see this a lot in the crypto industry, things like that, or people playing at the lottery. But even if they win, as we saw earlier, it's not going to change anything their reality because their energy is still going to be the same. Therefore, they're going to end up self-sabotaging themselves. They're going to spend all their money somehow. Fear of scarcity is it's somehow at one point in our life we were feeling that scarcity. We were broke, and we couldn't find the means to put food on the table and things like that, and we start making money, but we still have that energy somehow a little bit in the back of our brain, subconscious mind, our energy. And then the moment there's maybe a project that is failing, then we start going back into those loop of thought patterns. So we need to believe that we are different now. We have a toolbox to assess ourselves. We are seeing life from a different reality, the higher consciousness. So there's no way we can go back into our past self of being scared. Block to welcome abundance is really about feeling worthy of receiving. We're going to be working on that, and there's a beautiful meditation on this too. So the main one, as I said, is resistance, and that's a beautiful example here of electric current. So the resistance is just tightening the funnel, right? And why we're tightening? Because we're controlling, right? Our ego is like it wants to protect itself. So basically, we're just living too much in the ego. We need to build more energy to the soul, more attention to the soul, because where attention goes, energy goes. So we need to start communicating, building more of a communion with the soul, with our energy, with our chakras, and so on. Fear of change, as we saw, it's one of the biggest one. I see this all the time. It's really like the fear of being lonely, the fear of restarting all over again, and then the fear of all fears is the fear of the unknown, which is the opposite of that is surrendering. And the fear of the unknown is the fear of death, right? There's a part of us that's gonna die, or there's the whole ego self that's gonna die, or there's the physical body is gonna die, right? The fear of at the end of the this life. But we're always dying. There's always cycles. So at the end of the day is the end of a cycle. So we're dying somehow, and we're waking up a new person with a new perspective because so much things happen during our dream, even though we're not aware of it. But we don't accept it, and then we just go back in the same program, and then we leave the same loop because somehow we're addicted to our negative emotions, negative trapped energies, negative program, and because we want to stay safe, we want to stay in the known, we want to put ourselves in the box to know okay what's going on, to feel a sense of like okay I exist, but the truth we don't really exist. There's multiple way to explain this, the depth of that. But yeah, it's like there's everything is an illusion. When you explore the depth of the rabbit hole, it's illusions over illusions. So therefore, the only thing that we can really do is just float in the infinite nothingness and float into the stream of oneness, and then just enjoy the stream. And we feel that in the depth of our heart, layer per layer. So we need to unlock the root, the sacral solar plexus. It gives support to the heart, and then break layers of the heart, and then bring energy from above, from the divine masculine, the spirit, and then suit that, and then it's all level of consciousness. It takes time, and then we go this in spiral. We're always going back into the foundation, strengthen the foundation from a different level of consciousness. As I said earlier, the biggest fear is death, right? It's time. So we need to overcome time, overcome death, and then explore this concept at different level in your life. It's happening in every breath. That's a cycle. It's exactly like the whole cycle of the universe. It is known that the whole expansion of the universe and contraction is one breath of God. So my level of understanding, my percentage of understanding is going to give me my percentage of transmutation. It's the same with all those abundance blocks that are fragrance of the 60 trap emotion of the emotion code. They just allow us to um, reflect differently on our inner energies, to understand differently what we need to transmute. As I said, everything is a spiral. So take your time, to explore all those things. Maybe 6 months from now, you're going to go back on this course and then understand things completely differently. Don't try to understand everything right now. Just absorb, and then trust that the universe is going to give you the right lesson, the right time. And assess yourself every day. Scan, explore, have fun with it. Like don't do it from a perspective of like, I need to fix myself. Like I need to do this. Like have fun, be curious, be an inspector, finding clues. And when you find clues, like be happy with it. Be like a kid, like it's so fun. Like you're building a puzzle. And that's it. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. That's the game of life. We cannot change the game, and we're here to experience this game. Thank you.